Monique, it is so good to see you back on Potomac. Why was now the right time for you to return to the franchise?
What better way to test my healing and my growth than to go back into the fire? No, but it actually was perfect timing because I felt like I have learned enough of myself, and I was just like, well, what the heck? I might as well. Ashley's been asking me for years, you know, Truly Original has been calling me for years, and it just felt like the right time, honestly. And I'm in a place in my life where I have overcome so many obstacles, so many fears, and I'm promoting my book. I'm promoting my Amelia Eve Essentials. I want people to see the transformation and to know that it's possible. And they can judge it, you know, they can judge this new energy.
I read that you agreed to film again, and then almost the next day, Ashley Darby was at your house ready to go.
Yes.
You know, what was it like to jump back in so quickly?
It felt like me jumping back in so quickly felt like riding a bike, honestly. You know, I told them yes on Monday. They sent me a contract. I signed it Wednesday, and then Ashley Darby was at my door on Thursday, invited me to Pride, which was then on Saturday. So they hit the ground running, and I really feel like it was because they were like, we got to hurry up before she changes her mind.
Forget Zen Wen, it's Zen Monique. You know, you are such a calming presence on the show. Can you talk about the work you've done off screen to get where you are today?
Oh my goodness, a lot of self-reflection, discovery, awareness, accountability, all of it. I really went in. Like I went in on another level that I've never went in before. And I really wanted to just be the best version of myself. And I knew that there were a lot of things that I had to face. There are things that, you know, that you love about yourself, but then there's some things that you don't really like about yourself. And that's okay. But you have to make peace with those things. And I really took the time to make peace with me. And I didn't just step into peace like how people say, I just want my peace. No, I became peace. And when you become peace, it doesn't matter what environment you're in, you're always going to maintain that, even when you're going through difficulty. So for me, it was all about just like relearning myself and being the best version of myself, which is what led me to writing my book, Love Letters from Versions of Myself. Like literally, it's been such a journey. And not only do I want to share some of the things I went through, but I wanted people to know that they're not alone when they're going through different circumstances and that we're more alike than we are not.
Ultimately, your story, while there were some lows, it's ultimately a story of triumph. You're thriving, your children are thriving, and now you're back in front of us. To you know, what are you excited about sharing this stage in your life with audiences?
I'm excited because there is a life on the other side of your ego. You know, it's like when you can really take that deep stare in the mirror and say, you know what, it really doesn't matter what other people think of me or what they say. It really matters what I think of me. And I want people to see that they saw an old version of me that was married, that was trying to prove herself, that was depleted, that was working as hard as possible so that people could acknowledge my value. And then I went through this whole transformation and came out a person who is truly at peace with herself, whether anybody likes it or not.
Respectfully, I don't know what Kay and some of the other ladies are harping on the fact that Stacey and your ex-husband may or may not have been in communication or hung out or whatever.
And I just want to know if Stacey communicated with you about a conversation that was had about Monique. That's it. Yes or no?
Man, I don't know nothing about what you talking about.
He's your ex for a reason.
Right.
What's your take on the situation?
You know, I really don't have a take on it. It was just like, I think just because of the person that he is with the last name Samuels and my last name is Samuels and I'm coming back around, it caused this frenzy. But it really doesn't matter to me because we've been divorced over 2 years. I would expect that he would date. She's a beautiful woman. Why not? You know, as long as you're good with children, hey, I have 3 of them. So just be nice to my kids.
You've sort of made it clear that you're not a fan of Cookie or Charisse. You know, why the heck do you think they're involving themselves in this situation?
Well, the question is who's involving them? So there's like an invisible hand that's behind the scenes that people don't see. And sometimes you have people who actually want to be a part of the mess, but they don't want people to think they're that pressed. Those people named my ex-husband. So he's involving them in his own secretive way, and they're being the spokespersons for him. And then he gets to look like, oh, I don't know what's going on. What's the big deal? I have no idea what y'all talking about. So it can look like he's not as pressed as he is. So
I've seen a snippet of your sit down with Gizelle in this week's episode.
Okay,
And this was the one area that I hadn't made peace with. So when Ashley invited me to come around, I was like, you know what, this will be a good opportunity to continue my healing journey.
Okay.
It doesn't mean you off the hook.
No.
But
no.
I love that you take accountability for your role in the feud, but you also don't let her off the hook for the part she played.
Yes.
Did you accomplish what you wanted to with that conversation?
I did. I feel like I definitely accomplished that. Whether they showed all of it or not is what remains to be seen. We started back from 4 homes all the way up to the binder. And we literally broke down every situation. And there were some situations where I thought it was her, but it was a miscommunication. Or there was a person that was in the middle of something and neither one of us knew. And it caused us to continue to bump heads because we had a rocky start from the beginning. So we actually were able to pan out everything. I took accountability, she took accountability, and we decided to, move from there and always remain shady when necessary to each other's face.
Which of the women surprised you the most this season, in a good or bad way?
I'm gonna have to say Angel. I'm gonna say Angel surprised me the most because I wasn't around for so many weeks. So when I met Angel and then thereafter, I came in not knowing what actually happened and then watching the episodes and I'm just like, oh, okay, this is definitely different from what I thought was happening by the time I met her. And I really hope that she's able to kind of turn some of the situations around with the ladies because I feel like she was coming from a very vulnerable space. And she was taking everything very personally, Some of the things that the ladies say, because I've been in the dynamic before, certain things I would have just laughed at. Or it was just like, you would nip it in the bud and then you would walk away. But when you continually drag certain situations out, it just becomes like, wait, what is happening? Like, we got to move on, So, yeah, I think that surprised me the most.
We do see you speaking very candidly with Angel about the similarities between her and your past self being married to an NFL player.
I noticed similarities between you and I, being with an NFL player.
I'm not willing to discuss that, period.
What can you tease about that conversation?
What I can tease is that sometimes when you're going through certain situations and you see someone else that is doing exactly some of the things you did and you feel like you're looking in a mirror. Now, I've had moments where people have tried to tell me certain things, but it was just the wrong messengers. So I was trying to be the right messenger for her. And I also wanted to make sure that she wasn't walking down a path that I've already been down. From woman to woman, mother to mother, I was just like, if you need some help, just say it because I know what that feels like. So I can tease that, but you'll see how everything pans out.
We're about halfway through the season. What are you excited for fans to see?
Oh man, there's so many things. I'm really excited for the fans to see my sip and read. So I'm going to be talking about my book. And even though I've been on this healing path, one thing I ask God to never heal is my shade. So you're going to get a little healing with a little dash of shade in a couple weeks.